my clock, I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols. Reaming my body, clothing no issue. Bitch, you look sick, you need a tissue. You drop a body, I just might bless you. I'm metrosexual.
Yo, what is going on, everyone? It's Wraith here, back with another video. Now in today's video, this one has been requested a lot. I've already made a video on this, but I decided just to kind of give it an updated version and help you guys out a lot who are wondering how to get more solo wins in Fortnite. Now, some of these are just going to be meant for pubs and some of these are going to be for arena, but a lot of these tips you can use for either one. They're both very, very important. And this is based on if you're going for just strictly the win. You're not going for like 20 kill games or whatever the case is. So if you're looking forward to this video, make sure you slap that like button, make sure you comment what you want to see for a future video, hit that subscribe button, use creator code WraithFN, and make sure to check out my stream, link in the description, or WraithAM on Twitch. I will be streaming after today's video goes live. Probably I'll be live the second you see this video, most likely, unless you're watching it like in another day or something. But yeah, let's get right into today's video. So the first step I'm going to give, and this is probably the most important one for winning games and getting even high kill games. I've talked about this before, but you want to find one or two landing spots that work for you. So even in arena, or if you're in pubs, if you're going strictly for the win, or you want to survive as long as possible and set you up for the best chance of winning, then you need to find kind of a landing spot that works for you, that not many people go to, that has a decent amount of loot or a little bit of loot but has less chance of people going there. So for a couple places, for example, would be the John Wick's house outside of Paradise, the mansion, Happy Hamlet, places like that, Junk Junction, people where maybe only one person or maybe even zero people go towards. Some of you guys might already have a landing spot, but you want to have one or two landing spots that you can go there, you feel confident going there, you know all the chest spawns, where the best spawns are, where some floor loot is, if there's a vending machine, any rotation, blah blah blah. You want to find places that work for you. And once you find one or two spots, then you need to just consistently go there to make sure you know where all the chest spawns are, etc, etc. And once you go there, trust me, you'll set yourself up for late game way more, and basically you'll allow yourself to win more, because if you're fighting in Mega Mall or something and there's 8 people, well then it obviously is going to be harder for you to leave Mega Mall with good shields, good weapons, good mats, and still be alive and not die. But if you land somewhere less populated, well then there's a higher chance of you getting more loot, getting more shield, getting more mats, and then surviving to the mid and end game. Now this is probably the most important tip for trying to win solo games, and it's making smart pushes and making smart plays. So talking about smart pushes, you can have smart pushes through early game, mid game, and end game. Throughout the entire game, there's always going to be opportunities where you can push someone, you can take a couple shots. You just have to decide if it's worth it. So for example, I talk about this when I'm talking about early game or trying to win a game before, is basically if you're at the spawn and you only have a common AR and 25 or 40 shield because you got chug splashes, and you don't know what the other person has in your landing spot, probably not the best idea to push up. Or even if he's starting to push up towards you, try and keep your distance, because you don't know if he has a shotgun and all you have is a long range weapon. The same thing goes for if you have a shotgun. If you have a shotgun but not an AR or whatever the case is, well then you want to get up close and personal if you feel like you need to push. And again, my golden rule, I've told you guys this before, is if you're going for the win, you want to make smart pushes. And a good time to make a smart push is if you have a shotgun, an AR, 200 mats, and 50 shield minimum. That's what I kind of make as my requirement to push early game. If I have all of those, I feel confident going in a fight. If I have 0 shield, but I have a golden combat, even then I don't feel that confident, because what happens if they have a green pump and 100 shield and 100 health? Well, then you're still at a pretty big disadvantage and you have to hit all your shots, right? So it's very important to feel comfortable with what you're going into, and that's kind of my rule to go early fights. And moving to the next tip, and this is kind of around the same thing, is if you're not going for kills and you're just strictly going for the win, well then mid-game and end-game, just don't push anyone. Just box up or just keep rotating and whatever, go on top of the hangars or whatever season 10 is. I guarantee there's going to be some rotation. Just chill over there and just wait until endgame goes. You don't need to push anyone. There's no reason for you to push if you're just going for the win, unless you want a couple kills. Well, then that's different. If you're going for a couple kills and the win, so for example arena, where you want to get a couple kills as well as a win, well then that's different. Make sure that you do smart pushes, going back to that. So make sure I would say the only time you want to fight is when you're a third party, and try and keep it a long distance third party. Sure, try and take a couple snipes, try and take some AR shots, and if you can kill someone when they're fighting another player, great. But just try your best not to take up close range fights, because you never know what can happen. And obviously, if you're a good player, you're probably not going to be playing that passive. You're probably going to be going for kills. So it's not really geared towards you. But if you're just going strictly for the win, then try your best to minimize the fights and make them good, high-quality fights where you have the best chance at winning. For example, if you see someone, but you can build them for, let's say, 100 shield with your AR before you get into a fight, well then that's a little bit different. Then you feel confident going to that fight. You feel like you can win the fight more, right? So it all depends on the scenario and how many kills you're going for, or if you're even going for kills. If you want a 1 kill win, well, that's fine. That's up to you. And then just play super passive and don't push anyone. Now the next tip is once you start gearing towards your mid and end game, and this is to find natural high ground if possible. So depending where the zone is, you always want to get onto the natural high ground. So for those of you who don't know what natural high ground is, basically it's like a mountain or a really tall building in Neo Tilted, or anywhere basically, mostly mountains I'd say, or maybe the hangars or whatever it is in Season 10, because some of you guys are probably going to be watching this video in Season 10. Well then that's a little bit different. You want to go to the natural high ground. You don't want to build a 1x1 7 feet in the air or 7 boxes in the air. If you just go on the natural high ground, sometimes you won't even have to build. If you're on the highest mountain in the game, or a really high mountain, for example the one in between Salty and Dusty Divot, well then you're not going to have to build, because you're going to hear if anyone starts pushing towards you, and then yeah, you can build. But if you get to the natural high ground, not only will that give you a good advantage towards other player, you can see where people are, you can take some shots, you can just chill and relax until the next zone. Maybe if you get the zone again, you can just chill there even more. It's especially towards endgame. When there's endgame, if there's a mountain in the zone, or even if you somehow make it to early zone, well then you want to get on that mountain, because again, that'll give you the best natural shots to kill someone, or to be prepared, because if people start fighting and you're on low ground, well then you're going to be kind of forced to fight. If you're on high ground and they start fighting low ground, you're chilling, and maybe even you can again take some shots. Now this next tip is, let's say geared towards if somehow you're forced to fight, and this is kind of geared towards an end game scenario. So say there's like 4 or 5 people left and you are forced to fight because someone's going for their 20 kill game or whatever the case is, and they decide to push you. Well then you're going to be kind of forced to fight. So you can have 2 options. You can box fight, but let's say you want to get into a build fight, right? So let's say you build fight. Then there's 2 very important things. One, you want to make sure you try your best to keep height and take height and maintain height during the fight. That way you have a less chance of getting third partied, because if you're low ground, then you have a chance of getting third partied, or you have a chance at someone else shooting from you, which is I guess basically third partied. But another good thing about taking height is it's almost impossible for you to get shot. If you make sure no one else can shoot you, like if you're at the natural height technically through your builds, well then no one else can shoot you, so you can chill. The only thing you need to be aware of is that make sure you have a way to get down in case someone breaks your structure, and make sure you're not too high if you don't have anything to get down. But taking height in a build fight when there's only 3 to 4 people left is pretty intelligent, because basically, like I said, if you stick low ground, the person will eventually drop down and try and fight you, and then you might have people shooting at you, that you might have someone pushing you as well. Now this is the last step I'm going to give in today's video, and it's, I would say, a pretty important one. I guess I've said this for kind of every tip that is important, but it is, and it's rotating early. So no matter what zone it is, you always want to rotate to the edge, or depending on your playstyle, middle of the zone. And if you're in arena, or well, for pubs, if it gets into moving zones, for arena you most likely will, you want to rotate as early as possible, because that way less people are likely to shoot at you, because they're worried about getting out of the storm, or they're worried about people behind them or beside them. So if you rotate early, you have a shadow, you have a launch pad, or you can just run there first. Try your best to rotate as early as possible, even if it's, let's say, half in half out zone, where half the zone is in storm, half isn't. Try and get to that half in half out as soon as possible. Box up. If you're in arena, even in pubs, you can box up there and maybe build up a little bit, try and take height. Whatever the case is, try your best to rotate as early as possible, and that will allow you the best chance of third partying people and less chance of getting third partied. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today. If you did, again, make sure you slap the like button, make sure you comment what you want to see for a future video, hit that subscribe button, and use creator code WraithFN in the item shop. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace.